Federal authorities have announced a major crackdown on the Rollin 60s neighborhood Crips, a notorious Los Angeles street gang with a focus on high-profile figures like Eugene "Big U" Henley Jr., Brick Baby, and Loose Cannon. These individuals, who have gained notoriety as internet celebrities and alleged gang members, are accused of running a sophisticated criminal enterprise involved in murder, human trafficking, extortion, and fraud. Henley, 58, is at the center of the investigation, with prosecutors alleging he used his gang ties and legitimate businesses, including a music label and a nonprofit, to build a mafia-like operation. This case highlights the dangerous intersection of street gangs, entertainment, and organized crime, revealing how criminal networks have evolved to infiltrate mainstream industries. The Rollin 60s neighborhood Crips. To fully grasp the gravity of the allegations against Henley, it's essential to delve into the history and evolution of the Rollin 60s neighborhood Crips. Established in Los Angeles around 1976, the Rollin 60s emerged as a prominent set within the larger Crips alliance. Originating in the Hyde Park area, they rapidly expanded their influence, becoming one of the largest and most formidable gangs in Los Angeles, with membership estimates reaching approximately 1,600 individuals. Their operations extended beyond typical street-level crimes, delving into more organized and lucrative ventures, which solidified their reputation in the criminal underworld. The Rollin 60s, like many other gangs, initially formed as a response to the socioeconomic challenges faced by African-American communities in Los Angeles during the 1970s. High unemployment rates, systemic racism, and a lack of access to quality education and housing created an environment where gang affiliation became a means of survival and protection. Over time, the Rollin 60s evolved from a local neighborhood gang into a sophisticated criminal organization, engaging in drug trafficking, arms smuggling, and other illegal activities that generated substantial revenue. Eugene "Big U" Henley Jr. Henley's association with the Rollin 60s dates back several decades, during which he ascended the ranks to become a respected and influential figure within the gang. His moniker, Big U, became synonymous with leadership and authority. However, Henley sought to diversify his endeavors beyond the confines of gang activities. He ventured into the music industry, positioning himself as a bridge between the streets and mainstream entertainment. This dual identity allowed him to cultivate relationships across various sectors, further amplifying his reach and influence. Notably, he played a pivotal role in launching the career of the late rapper Nipsey Hussle and was referred to as rap's godfather by artists like Wiz Khalifa. Henley's foray into the music industry was not merely a personal ambition, but also a strategic move to legitimize his operations and launder money generated from illicit activities. By establishing Unique Music, a record label, Henley was able to create a facade of legitimacy while continuing to engage in criminal enterprises. His connections within the entertainment industry provided him with access to influential figures and resources, further entrenching his power and influence. The alleged criminal enterprise. Federal prosecutors allege that Henley leveraged his gang affiliations and business ventures to establish what they describe as the Big U enterprise. This organization purportedly operated with the sophistication and structure reminiscent of traditional mafia families, engaging in a litany of criminal activities meticulously orchestrated to maximize profit and minimize exposure. Murder allegations. One of the most grievous accusations against Henley pertains to the 2021 murder of an aspiring rapper, identified in court documents as R.W. According to prosecutors, R.W. was signed to Henley's music label, Unique Music. The relationship soured when R.W. recorded a song that allegedly defamed Henley. In response, Henley and an associate reportedly traveled to Las Vegas to confront the artist. Tragically, this confrontation culminated in R.W.'s death. His body was discovered in a ditch off Interstate 15 in the Nevada desert, a grim testament to the violent lengths the enterprise would allegedly go to protect its interests. The murder of R.W. is emblematic of the brutal tactics employed by the Big U enterprise to maintain control and silence dissent. The alleged involvement of Henley in such a heinous crime underscores the dangerous intersection of the music industry and gang activity, where artistic expression can sometimes lead to fatal consequences. Extortion and human trafficking. Beyond the murder charges, the Big U enterprise is accused of employing intimidation and violence to extort businesses and individuals throughout Los Angeles. Utilizing his reputation and long-standing association with the Rollin 60s, Henley allegedly coerced victims into compliance, ensuring a steady stream of illicit revenue. Furthermore, the enterprise is implicated in human trafficking operations, exploiting vulnerable individuals for financial gain. This facet of the allegations paints a harrowing picture of systemic abuse and exploitation under the guise of legitimate business dealings. Human trafficking, in particular, represents one of the most egregious violations of human rights, and the involvement of a high-profile figure like Henley in such activities highlights the pervasive nature of this crime. Victims of human trafficking are often subjected to physical and psychological abuse, forced labor, and sexual exploitation, making it imperative for law enforcement to dismantle such networks and bring perpetrators to justice. Financial fraud and exploitation of nonprofits. The enterprise's alleged criminality extended into financial fraud, particularly concerning nonprofit organizations. Henley founded Developing Options, a charity ostensibly dedicated to steering youth away from gang involvement and promoting positive community engagement. However, prosecutors contend that Henley exploited this nonprofit as a front for fraudulent activities. Significant donations from celebrities, corporations, and even government grants were allegedly embezzled for personal use, betraying the trust of donors and undermining genuine community efforts. The exploitation of nonprofit organizations for personal gain is a particularly insidious form of fraud, as it diverts resources away from those who need them most. Developing Options was seen as a beacon of hope in communities ravaged by gang violence, and the alleged misuse of funds by Henley represents a profound betrayal of the trust placed in him by donors and community members alike. COVID-19 relief fraud. In a brazen move, Henley is also accused of defrauding federal pandemic relief programs. He allegedly submitted falsified applications for COVID-19 relief loans, claiming substantial profits for unique music in 2019, despite financial records indicating otherwise. This exploitation of emergency funds, intended to support struggling businesses during a global crisis, underscores the enterprise's alleged willingness to capitalize on societal vulnerabilities for monetary gain. The COVID-19 pandemic brought unprecedented challenges to communities worldwide, and the allocation of relief funds was intended to provide a lifeline to those most affected. The alleged fraud committed by Henley not only represents a misuse of public funds, but also highlights the need for stringent oversight and accountability measures to prevent such abuses in the future. The broader implications of the case. The charges against Henley and his associates shed light on the evolving nature of organized crime in urban settings. Traditional street gangs, once primarily focused on localized criminal activities, have adapted and expanded their operations, infiltrating legitimate industries and exploiting systemic loopholes. This convergence of street-level criminality with white-collar crime presents unique challenges for law enforcement and community leaders alike. The case against Henley also underscores the importance of addressing the root causes of gang involvement, such as poverty, lack of education, and systemic inequality. While law enforcement efforts are crucial in dismantling criminal enterprises, long-term solutions must focus on creating opportunities for at-risk youth and providing them with alternatives to gang life. Community betrayal and the erosion of trust. Perhaps one of the most poignant aspects of this case is the alleged betrayal of community trust. Developing Options was perceived as a beacon of hope, a symbol of positive change in neighborhoods plagued by violence and poverty. Henley's purported exploitation of this trust for personal gain not only siphoned resources away from those in need, but also deepened cynicism and skepticism towards charitable initiatives. Such betrayals can have long-lasting repercussions, making it more challenging for genuine organizations to effect change and garner support. Rebuilding trust within communities affected by gang violence and exploitation will require a concerted effort from both local leaders and external stakeholders. Transparency, accountability, and a commitment to addressing the underlying issues that contribute to gang involvement are essential components of any successful strategy to restore faith in community organizations. Law enforcement's response and the path forward. In response to these allegations, law enforcement agencies have intensified efforts to dismantle the Big U enterprise and similar organizations. Collaborative operations involving local, state, and federal agencies aim to disrupt the infrastructure of these criminal enterprises, targeting both their illicit activities and their infiltration into legitimate sectors. However, the path forward is fraught with challenges. Rebuilding community trust, ensuring the integrity of charitable organizations, and preventing the co-opting of legitimate businesses by criminal entities will require sustained effort and strategic intervention. One potential avenue for addressing these challenges is the implementation of community-based policing strategies that foster collaboration between law enforcement and local residents. By working together to identify and address the root causes of crime, communities can develop more effective and sustainable solutions to the problems they face. Additionally, there is a need for greater oversight and regulation of nonprofit organizations to prevent fraud and ensure that funds are used for their intended purposes. This may involve stricter reporting requirements, more rigorous auditing processes, and increased transparency in the allocation and use of resources. The case against Eugene "Big U" Henley Jr. and his alleged criminal enterprise marks a pivotal moment in the fight against organized crime in urban America. As federal authorities pursue justice, the revelations surrounding the Rollin 60s neighborhood Crips serve as a stark reminder of the intricate web connecting street gangs, entertainment industries, and community organizations. While the full extent of the legal proceedings remains to be seen, one thing is clear: this case will have far-reaching consequences for law enforcement strategies, community relations, and the broader discourse on crime and rehabilitation. The allegations against Henley highlight the need for a multifaceted approach to addressing organized crime, one that combines robust law enforcement efforts with community-based initiatives aimed at addressing the root causes of gang involvement. By working together, communities, law enforcement, and policymakers can create a safer and more just society for all. In the end, the fight against organized crime is not just a matter of law enforcement. It is a collective responsibility that requires the participation and cooperation of all members of society. By addressing the underlying issues that contribute to gang involvement and working together to create opportunities for at-risk youth, we can build a future where communities are free from the grip of violence and exploitation. If you found this video informative, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more content. Thank you.